Poshcast today. We're going to be talking with Undoo Tattoo. Rachael Eberle is here, and she is the owner of Undoo Tattoo, which you can find right inside Posh Salon here in Reno, Nevada. Welcome to the Poshcast, Rachael. I am so excited to have you on because this is just, to me, the most incredible technology. And laser tattoo removal is the most effective way to remove a tattoo. How does this work? And first of all, talk to me a little bit about how you got into this business.
Well, I had the opportunity to work at the Center for Plastic Surgery for years with a skin treatment, and it was through that service that I realized there were a lot of tattoos and in Reno, and it was growing. And so it was just a hunch, a speculation, and discussed it with my business partner, and we invested in the laser, did a lot of investigation and research down in Los Angeles and up here, and with a doctor, and came up with the MedLight C6 laser, which is the best on the market, and went from there.
Now let's talk about how this actually works. So a client comes in, and tell me what your clientele is like. Is it someone that's a mom that got a tattoo on her 18th birthday and said, oh my gosh, I'm now 40, this looks ridiculous, I need to get rid of it?
Exactly, yeah, and for myself and those moms, your kids start noticing and like to repeat it at daycare. So that can get a little embarrassing, that privacy you have. I had a tattoo and I had it removed. I was fine with it, but I wanted to be able to speak to it personally, how it worked, that it worked, what it felt like, how was the aftercare, and very importantly, what does the tissue look like? Can anyone tell that it was ever there? So there is, the moms, and there's also former gang members that want to turn their life around. There are even mistakes. The tattoo didn't turn out the way they expected. They need to lighten it up and redo it. And I'm very understanding of all those situations, and really happy to help.
What about the difference between a colored tattoo and a black tattoo? Can you remove either one of those?
Yes, we can. Not all lasers can, but ours can remove all colors. There's a specific wavelength that addresses a specific color, and we have all those wavelengths. Greens and blues are particularly difficult. It can take a little bit longer, but absolutely it can be removed.
And why is a professionally serviced laser so important for the removal of the tattoo?
That is a critical question, one that is most often not asked. So there's naturally diminishing power when you're running a laser, like any mechanical product, and like a car. It needs to be serviced, and some choose to service the laser when it breaks down. Then they call someone in and they fix it. But it needs to be sustained and upgraded so it's running at optimum power all the time. So the client isn't going to know the difference, but as a provider, I need to make sure they're getting the most strength with every treatment. And so we have a senior engineer from the manufacturer that we pay for extra to come in every 2-3 months to make sure that it's optimum power.
What is a consultation like? Can you explain the process? I mean, obviously you're probably looking at figuring out a guesstimate of how long it will take to remove that tattoo, how many procedures that individual may need.
Exactly. So consultations are just a comfortable, non-judgmental experience. We look at what you want to do, and we are on your game plan. You want to fade it, remove it, modify it, whatever you want. We're going to make sure that the program matches what you need. And so we'll give you an estimated number of treatments and exact pricing. And we also are meticulous about tracking your progress with photos so that as more information comes to us, like the response of the tattoo to the laser, we may adjust that. Maybe it's going to be less treatments than we said. Maybe it's going to take a little bit longer, but no surprises. We want you to always know where you stand.
Now, how often will you need to receive treatment? You give a guesstimate, say it's 6 treatments. Will you have to come back after those 6 treatments in a year or 2, or does it vary?
No, you're done. I mean, we'll give you an estimate. Let's say it is 6 treatments, and once it's visibly gone, you're done. And the skin most often looks exactly as if there had never been a tattoo there before. So you can come in once a month, that's what's recommended, but however, the longer you wait, the more it fades, so 6-8 weeks, is okay too, and it's nice that there's flexibility. You're not locked into a schedule. You can come in whenever you want, just as long as you wait 4 weeks.
Now let's talk about scarring. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
Is the tattoo, once it's removed, will it look like scar tissue?
Right, right. It used to, but with the new modern technology, the answer is no. It certainly is possible, it is a risk, but it's very unlikely. And when we do see it, it's usually from poor aftercare. So after the treatment, there's some redness and swelling, and you really need to ice it. And if you don't, you could get some scarring. But the protocol really is designed that there is no scarring, and you can be overly aggressive, and that's also why experience is so important. You do have guidelines that you follow with tattoo removal, but you have to be very knowledgeable and experienced to know how to adjust for that person, their tissue, and the darkness of that tattoo. If you don't, you can scar if you don't have a lot of experience.
I would highly recommend folks to go check out your website, which is undoo-tattoo.com. You've got some great video that you have up there. It kind of shows the process that you go through. I was just astounded at some of the tattoos that people brought into you. Very dark, very big, and still you were able to remove those tattoos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for some of these clientele, these are game changers. They're affecting their life, their productivity, their work, or relationship. It's critical. So if they, commit, we will provide that service all the way.
Have you ever had just an amazing story where someone came in, just like what you were saying, where that tattoo was really affecting their life, maybe their professional career? Can you talk to us about a story that maybe you really changed their life?
Yeah, I was really touched. I had a young woman come in that had it was a gang-like tattoo, and she was very professional, you wouldn't expect it. And so we were actually working on a number of tattoos for her, but she did have one on her hand. And I was able to laser that and fully remove it in one treatment. Luckily, it just came right out. Some take a little longer, some are real quick. So hers came right out, and she burst into tears. And then I started crying, and it was very emotional. I, at that moment, really appreciated how it had impacted her life. She said in job interviews, at her kids' schools, everywhere she went, she always had her hands together with the thumb over the web so no one would see it. It was almost like like she created a disability for herself, that she had to have her hands together all the time no matter what she did, and suddenly those hands were broken free to not have anyone see it and judge her or evaluate her. And so I was really touched in the moment. I have a lot of stories like that, and but that was a big one for me when I realized how important it is what we do.
What a great job. I mean, you are actually helping people maybe get over something that a lot of us have made bad decisions, or maybe gotten a tattoo at a time that, why would we do this now? It's 30 years later. What was I thinking?
You're exactly right. It is impactful, and the process of removing the tattoo I have observed to be sort of therapeutic, and a lot of times helps people get over something they're working through, because that tattoo represented something that they don't want to be attached to anymore. And we speak with a lot of youth organizations and try to explain to them we're not against tattoos, but be strategic in the placement. They can inhibit how people perceive you in getting a job, things like that. So we really enjoy working with the youth groups and helping kids.
I guess we'll end on this quickly. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about the cost of something like this. Does it vary based on the size of the tattoo, the number of treatments, I'm assuming?
Exactly, yes. So a standard size black tattoo will usually run about $100 a treatment, covers most tattoos. But if you get into really large pieces, such as we'll do full sleeves, full backs, faces, the intricacy of the removal modification process, it could increase the price. Colors are a little bit more expensive because the hand pieces for those wavelengths cost more.
It is just an intriguing job that you do, and again, I highly suggest folks to go to undoo-tattoo.com, check out the video, see for yourself how amazing Undoo Tattoo is. If you are someone that's living with a tattoo that you are embarrassed by, hiding, this is your chance to finally get rid of it. And Rachel, thank you so much for bringing this
Thank you very
incredible
much.
technology to Reno as well. So
Thank
exciting
you.
for so many people. Again, you can find out more information, undoo-tattoo.com. Rachael Eberle is the owner of Undoo Tattoo, which you can find right inside Posh Salon in Reno.